The Reuse It Thrift Shop, benefiting the Boys and Girls Club, is Perham's newest thrift store. Stop in at 900 East Main to shop or donate soon.
With 2 locations in Vergas and Perham, make the right call. Call Hanson's, the most trusted name in plumbing and heating.
M-State Business and Entrepreneurial Services, helping business grow in a community near you.
Nadine's is blowing the lid off fashion and service. Nadine's has cutting-edge fashion from Tribal, Woolrich, Liz Claiborne, and more. Plus, Nadine's is your headquarters for Brighton jewelry and accessories. Nadine's in Perham. Why look just okay when you can look great?
Welcome. I'm Mike Parda, Perham businessman and taxpayer. And today I'm joined by Mitch Anderson, superintendent of the Perham Dent District 549 schools. And we're going to talk today about the upcoming school referendum on April 3rd. But before we get into the details of the referendum, Mitch, let's talk a little bit about the history. How did we get to the point we are today?
Sure. First, thanks for having me, Mike. I appreciate the opportunity here to get some information out about the April 3rd vote, which is coming our way. And good opportunity here to give everybody a little background on the school funding issue that so many districts in the state are facing. And as we look forward to April 3rd, I think it's critical that people are aware of the facts and are aware of the situation here at the school, so they know that information before they head to the polls or vote by absentee. Just going back a brief history of about 10, 11 years ago, a lot of the school funding issue started in 2001 with Governor Ventura's property tax reform, which occurred during his era as our governor. And that really kind of set the tone for where district funding is going to come from. And in our situation here in the Perham Dent School District, we've got 38% of our property types as seasonal rec and ag land. And looking at that really sets the table as far as what's happened with our operating levies in the past. And it also is something that we're responding to with our capital project levy. So overall, the inflation and everything else that comes into play with school funding, districts are hurting right now. The state is hurting, and that's where our 80% of our funding is coming from. So it's kind of a bad scenario in that regard, but and that's why we're looking at April 3rd as a vote to go to our locals for support.
Okay, so the state supportive funding has diminished greatly over the years because of the new system out there. What have you done in the past to try to make up for this funding shortfall?
You know, like most districts, an operating levy is usually the first attempt at trying to recoup some of those lost finances from the state. So starting in 2008 was the school district's first attempt at an operating levy. It was a $695 per pupil over 10 years, and it was defeated. That got followed up by a defeat in 09, 10, and 11. So we've gone through 4 falls now in a row with an operating levy ranging from $395 per pupil up to $695, ranging in terms as far as 4 years, 10 years. So the school district has tried to respond as far as what people have said as far as the amount and as far as the length of the terms. But all 4 of those have failed, so now we're back at the table looking at some different options.
Okay, so you lost you had diminished state funding and you haven't been able to make it up with levies. So what have you done to try to close the budget gap?
Yeah, in that scenario, what the district has done is cut programs, cut staff, reduced any expenditure area that they can. And you know, the brunt of those cuts have come at our high school. You know, we're sitting with some class sizes that are in the mid-30s to low 40s in some areas. Just staffing cuts leads to program cuts, so there's a lot of extracurriculars that have been impacted by this. Elective courses at the high school that we were able to offer 5-6 years ago that are no longer existent. So that's been the difficult side of this, is trying to compete with the rest of the school districts in the state and being asked to do more with less. And obviously we're looking for some additional.
In terms of real dollars, how many dollars has the district cut out of their budget?
We've cut $4 million in the last 8 years going back as far as reductions in programs and staffing, looking at transportation, heating, reducing summer staff, things like that. So they haven't all come in the form of a direct cut or an elimination of a teaching position or a para or administrator, but a lot of reductions here and there that added up to that.
Yeah. In terms of budget percentage, what percentage of the budget then have you cut?
Well, our overall operating is about 13 million. So looking at that, we've cut, depending on the year, some more than other years, but overall it's been a dramatic experience here at the district at all levels, but primarily at the high school. But looking forward, if things don't change, then our middle school and our elementary would see the same.
So with the new referendum, then we would have a chance to replenish some of those dollars.
Correct. The new referendum that we're looking at is a capital project levy, and that's a different type of levy than we've looked at in the past. It does include the seasonal rec and the ag land, so we'll talk about that a little bit here as far as the differences.
Let Ghost Runner buy, sell, and bid for you on eBay. From cars, antiques, electronics, to collector items, Ghost Runner handles all aspects of the transaction. We will help you get top dollar for your items.
Ghost Runner Errand Service. Why waste your time on the small things?
When it comes to technology, I'm pretty low maintenance. I just want internet that's fast and reliable. Lots of channel options for my TV, including HD and multi-room DVR. Oh, and friendly customer service, of course. No one delivers the products and services I need like Arvig. It's pretty simple, really. Arvig provides lots of choices for me and my family, all for an unbeatable value. And knowing I can get all of that and more from Arvig, well, that keeps me and my family happy. Arvig, it's all here. Follow us on Facebook or visit arvig.com.
Now focusing on the new referendum, Mitch, what makes this levy different from the previous levies in the past?
You know, like I mentioned before, we've had 4 operating levies in the past that have not passed, and the direct response from people that haven't been supportive of those in the past have really been 4 common reasons that we've heard. One is that the cost is just too much for the individual tax impact. Number 2, a big issue, especially in our area with our seasonal rec and our ag land, is just the fairness that homesteaded properties are paying for it, where seasonal rec and ag were not included in an operating levy. Hear from a lot of people that not fair that I have to pay, but my neighbor here at the lake is not paying any of it. So that's been a very loud concern. Another concern is that with our tough economic times, people just feel that an operating levy, those additional dollars were going to go directly into employee salaries and benefits. And then the fourth one is people have said that you haven't shown me where the money is going, and they want to see tangible items. They want to know what benefit the district's receiving from these additional tax dollars. So looking at the capital project levy, it really is a direct response to those 4 biggest reasons that we've heard from people that have not supported an operating levy. Number 1, the cost, when you include those 38%, really cuts the individual tax impact down dramatically. And for an example, a $200,000 market value home back in November would have cost $211 a year for this operating levy. For this capital project levy, now with the new equation, it drops down to $45 a year. So you're looking at about 1/5 the cost of what the cost for an operating levy would have been back in November with the new. So that's one of the concerns we've heard. The other one is who pays for it, and like I've said, this does include our seasonal rec or our cabin owners, as well as our ag people. Their land will be taxed on it as well. So that helps out with the cost when you spread it out over that many more people. Number 3 is the employee salaries and benefits, and by statute, the capital referendum dollars go into a separate account, and we can only use those for specific expenditures. So in our goal here is to improve some of our buildings and grounds. We've got roofs that have been leaking for years. We've got parking lots that need to get resurfaced before they start to cost us more down the road. We've got infrastructure in all of our buildings to be able to handle our Wi-Fi and our internet. So we cannot use those funds from a capital levy towards employee salaries and benefits, except for technology staff to help support some of the initiatives that we're putting. And then the fourth one is, where's my money going? And like I said, we're looking at tangible items. We're looking for the buildings and grounds improvements. It would be the roofs and parking lots and our heating and cooling. Our high school's got 1960s boilers still functioning. And they're working. They're starting to nickel and dime us a little bit, but they're obviously with 2012 here, there's some more higher efficient systems out there that we'll be looking at helping out. So I really feel this is a direct response to what we've heard from no voters in the past, in that it costs too much, where's my money going, who's paying for it, and they don't want to go to salaries and benefits.
What will be some of the student benefits? I think everyone's always concerned about the students, and what will be the student benefits because of this?
Yeah, and it's kind of a twofold levy. I look at it. One half, you can protect the past, so to speak, with our buildings and our grounds and those traditional things. But the other half of the levy is looking at where do we want to go as a district educationally. So we've got a significant amount of investment into computers and iPads and instructional devices, and we're looking at extending that even more. Several of our computer labs are sitting with computers that are 7 or 8 years old, and I think everybody knows that the life expectancy for them is 3 to 5 before they start to give you problems, and we are seeing a lot of problems with our computers in the classrooms and in the labs. And then also looking at instructional devices with iPads, looking at implementing those as early as our early childhood programs through the elementary and middle school years, with 5 or 6 in each classroom so the kids get exposure to that. And then we're looking at a 9 through 12 iPad one-to-one initiative where every high school student, 9th grade through their senior year, would receive an iPad to use for, obviously for internet connection, for doing research and looking things up, also for their calendars, for their emails. But then there's the possibility of huge savings down the road with those iPads housing 5 or 6 textbooks that right now kids are lugging around in their backpacks. So,
where can people get more information before they vote?
You bet. Before the vote, they can contact me directly at 346-4501. If they want to stop by the district office and visit, I'm more than happy to do that. Our district office is here at the high school building. Looking forward to answering any questions people have before April 3rd.
Thank you very much.
You bet.